I want to thank Dr. Jose Almeida for agreeing to do this recap for the 2023 Venous meeting. So thank you.
My pleasure.
So the session was amazing. Great presentations, discussions on a wide variety of topics. What would you say were some of the highlights?
Yeah, yeah, we definitely had a good meeting, Anil, this year. For me, the highlight was just to see the attendance back in the room, which, as we know, this pandemic really hit all of the vascular meetings in a big way. So, in-person attendance has been struggling to get, back up to where we were. And what I saw most at VEITH this year was the buzz, the energy, the people. The rooms were quite full. The hallways, all the stuff that goes on at VEITH. It's just not about the talks. It's all the networking, seeing people. We like to see our people every year, if not two or three times a year at different meetings, but certainly shaking hands, talking, going to coffee, all the side meetings that go on, seeing industry again, all the side meetings with them. So that was, for me, was the main highlight. Now, as far as the actual content, we do what we do at VEITH, which is we cover everything. It's VEITH style, meaning, Frank VEITH likes these 5-minute talks. That's what goes on in all the sessions, whether arterial or venous, and that's certainly the way we set it up. So many, many talks. It really just gets right to the point, and we cover superficial vein disease, deep vein disease, lymphatic disease, and all the things that surround it, such as governance, new guidelines, practice tips, I mean, anything you can imagine. It's the who's who of vascular surgery and venous surgery that's there. The people that write the manuscripts and the textbook chapters. So it's really, I mean, it's the 50th year. I mean, I think that says it all. It's just a fantastic meeting. But for me, yeah, just to see a full room again. That's what excited me the most.
So you've been doing this Venous session for a number of years. How do you have such amazing speakers year after year?
Yeah, this started, and you know this as well as anyone, Anil, the what we call the endovenous revolution. So, in 1999, radiofrequency ablation got approved for saphenous vein ablation, and then it just, went from there, endovenous laser and where we are today. So about a 20, plus year now, endovenous history. It's interesting that the way Frank and I really met, it was during 9/11. We were at the World Vascular Congress in Cancun, and we got stuck down there with a lot of vascular surgeons. I was just a young attending at that time, presenting on EVAR, and we got stuck down there, and Frank and I ended up getting out together. So we became friends, and then I invited him to a Venus meeting, IVC, that I put on, that I started in '03. He came in '05 as a keynote speaker, and he saw what was going on with venous disease. We had a full room down there. As you know, most people, when they think of vascular, they think of arterial. Certainly when they think of Frank Veith, it's distal bypass, but he really saw, wow, I'm missing on the venous end. So he asked me and Lowell Cabnick to put together a venous section for Veith. And that must have been '04 is what I think was the first one. And it was back when we were at the Sheridan, and he gave us a room downstairs. I don't know if you were at the Sheridan, but in the basement type area. And we got this small room, and it was out in the hallway, oversubscribed. And I actually had to call him, Frank, can you come down here and see what's going on? He stopped the meeting and broke it down, AV, and we went to another room an hour later, a big room. So, and that was a 1 day meeting. And from there, fast forward, it's grown to, we've been at the Hilton for a few years, to this 2 full day didactic meeting and a third day of workshops and guideline sections. So yeah, it's grown. I guess this was 19th year. We're going on 20th year next year. It's been fantastic to watch it grow. Um, so, and yeah, it's not, it's a lot of work. Myself and Lowell, and then since then, Tom Wakefield, Peter Glavitsky, and Steve Elias have come to help us. But it was Lowell and I the first, 10, 15 years. And certainly, I'd be remiss to not mention Jackie Simpson, who's Frank Veith's right-hand woman who helps us. Uh, but when you got great speakers and, and they submit talks to help us organize it, and we just, get it all together. But when you got great speakers that give great talks, it's not so hard for us. So, and that's what we have at VEITH. So, it's all experienced people. We try to get newcomers in there too to give them an experience. But for the most part, it's people that know how to give talks and really crunch down the data into 5 minutes in these, this VEITH style. And it's really just a blast, to be there. So I've enjoyed the heck out of it, and being, the head organizer. It's just been a lot of fun, an honor and a privilege too.
I really like the fact that you give really hands-on technical tips about about problems, about new technologies, but it's not just the Western Hemisphere, it's worldwide. And sometimes I hear about different ideas, different tools that I don't have available sometimes, but they're really amazing to hear about the different ideas that different countries have, different positions have from an industry has in different parts of the world, because I really do learn a lot, even if it's not available for me immediately.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The international presence is certainly, a big deal. I would put it, kind of the flip side. So, we did a lot of first in man clinical trials offshore in the Dominican Republic for about 10 years. And what I mean by that is usually you do not have the high tech stuff in a lot of these countries, and you learn how to make do. So, yeah, these international people, not to say they're not high tech, but we seem to get things ahead of time because of just the way the industry rollouts are. Um, but they really get creative, and you learn a lot of good tips and tricks from our international colleagues, and hopefully they learn a little something from us too. But yeah, it's that cross pollination around the world that really adds to our knowledge and our technical skills. Absolutely.
So what new directions will you be taking the meeting for BEEF 2024?
Yeah, it's really we try and stay on top of what's coming out. So. Uh, as so let's just break it down: superficial, deep, and thrombus. Those are the main three segments of venous disease that we deal with. Let's put lymphatics aside for now and some of the other things. But as we look forward, it's usually the evolution of technology, whether iterative or breakthrough technology. I think right now we're in iterative stages. So even in the saphenous vein that's so crowded, there's still new things coming out. And Lowell Capnick presented a couple this year. Um, how many devices do you need to deal with the saphenous vein? Well, it seems like, that they just keep coming out. On the stent side, certainly the laser cut nitinol has been the highlight there. It's been a few years already, but now we're getting, the data at 3 years and 4 years, which gives us confidence that these stents work well. And then on the thrombus side, which is probably the most, where the most change is occurring with these thrombectomy devices. And that also, just when we thought there were two or three good ones, they just keep rolling out with new iterations. So yeah, staying top of that. New guidelines that you and I were on that committee, which took a couple of years to put those out. So we had a guideline session. So we're really gonna, like you and I and many others on our faculty, we're all peer reviewers on all these major journals. So we see what's coming, through before it's even published, and can get ideas there. So I guess what do I see in the future is just staying on top of the game, and having all the new stuff, and for folks that are new to the field, just to kind of keep going over some basic stuff, so we don't, people don't get lost.
Thank you so much for putting together this world-class session. It's really an amazing session. I really enjoy going to it every year. And again, thank you so much for this podcast.
Yeah, hey, my pleasure, and always glad to have you. And yeah, I look forward to VEITH 24 also.